Last night I had the opportunity to go see a film premiere here in the city where I live in, just in downtown. I went, I had a great time, and now I'm going to talk about the movie. Waiting for Waldemar is directed by Eric Spoth and stars Vance Avery, Lily Bebernick, Olivia Bebernick, and Monique Reinhardt. So the story is about a German family living in the Ukraine during World War II, and it's about how the war affects their lives and how the whole family is uprooted and they have to be relocated, and all the events that happened to their family during that time. I know a lot of people who are involved in the making of this film. I've known the director for quite some time. I know a lot of the people who are working both behind and in front of the camera. I even got to be an extra. I was on set for a day. It was a really great time. I'm so happy to have finally gotten to see the finished product because I only spent one day on set. I didn't really know much of the story. I didn't know where it was going from the scenes that I was partaking in. And I have to say, for the most part, I was pretty pleased with what I saw. I really enjoyed this movie. One of the things that I didn't expect when I sat down to watch is that the movie is in fact a documentary. I thought it was a biopic, just a true story on what happened during World War II. But no, it's a documentary talking about survivors of this story. But it is in fact a documentary. There's survivors of the story who are in interview sessions talking about their experiences through voiceover interview sessions. And you really get to find out what they were going through, what was in their minds during World War II, and all the stuff that was happening to them. What I found most interesting about the film is even though it is a documentary, it's mostly told through reenactments. I really liked most of the actors who were used in the reenactments, especially Vance Avery, who plays Waldemar. I felt he was a really well-rounded three-dimensional character. I knew what he was coming from, I knew what he was feeling, I knew what he was capable of, I knew what his ambitions were in life. All of these things within a 45-minute film. That's pretty good. I like when an actor is able to give you more than one dimension to a character. When you have a small independent film like this, you need to have a really strong story in order to keep your audience hooked, because you don't have the money for big visual effects and all these fancy extra things. You have to have your story and characters rooted at the center of the whole thing, and this film definitely does. I found myself really invested in the characters. I wanted to see where their stories went. That is a very strong point of this film, and congratulations to the cast and crew for making that happen. Some of the negatives for this movie, there aren't a ton, so I'm just going to brush through them pretty quickly. The beginning of the movie does a lot of interesting time jumps forwards and backwards, and it threw me off a little bit at the beginning, but it's only like the first 5 minutes of the movie and then it's over. It's a lot smoother from there. The time jumps don't throw you off later in the film like they do at the beginning, so it's not a huge deal. Child actors are often always a problem in movies. This one is no different. The kids in the movie, I just didn't find very convincing in their performances at all, and that's just something that's difficult for every movie ever, so. With some of the scenes and plot points that carry out within this movie, I wish that we would have had a little more feeling of like tension and urgency within the film. There's a scene early on in the film where Waldemar is hiding in a barn and German soldiers are looking for him, and I know it's a tense scene because of what's happening on screen, but I don't feel tension. And I just wish they could have used like maybe the score, the editing a little bit differently to just get a little more tension out of that so that I could feel like, oh, what if he gets caught? What is going to happen? Other than those few little things, I did enjoy the movie. It shows an interesting perspective of World War II, and it is a story that is filled with hope. And I will say that Waiting for Waldemar is above average. Thanks for checking out my review for Waiting for Waldemar. You can comment below. Let me know what you thought of the movie if you saw it. You can let me know what you thought of this review. You can give me a subscription if you haven't done so already, and if you've got nothing else to do, go watch more movies.